Y'all already know what time it is. It's been a long time since I did a fan to fan episode. So I thought I'd bring back this series with a new spill, new twist. Y'all already know my name. Y'all know my slogan. So enough about me. We got one of the finest in the building. Like, I've been following his team for the longest. Big Melo fan, and you know we're here to talk about Melo today. We got Steven T from CTRL the Narrative. My guy, Steven, what's up, bro?
What's going on, man? Yeah, I thought we went over this right before we click record that you were going to try to say my last name, but you didn't.
Nah.
Sakinikis. Okay.
Not going to try it. Nah, bro. But say it one more time for the folks out there.
Yeah, Sakinikis. It's Greek. The first day of school was always fucking hell for me growing up with teachers trying to present that and pronounce that. So I'm good, man. Happy to be here. Fan of what you've been doing too, man, and happy to chop it up.
Definitely, man. I know how that go with the first school day, all that. Like, my real name is Levante. I got teachers call me Levant. I'm like, bro, where'd you get that from? Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. We about to get into it.
Yeah.
Right back at it. My fault, y'all. I had to open the door for the missus. Y'all know how that go. Just got home. But my man, bro, this is the Melo episode. This is what they all been waiting for, man. And, you know, I couldn't make it to the documentary, but I seen the clips. Y'all did y'all thing out there. The joint looked amazing. I love the setup, the time and effort put into it. I know was pain, but it came out well. Y'all did y'all thing on that. I gotta commend you on that, bro. Gotta commend you.
I appreciate it, man. It was the second one we did real quick, and you know, had similar bumps in the road, and like there were times where I'm like, damn, are we gonna get this done? Are we allowed to curse on here?
Do your thing, bro. Freedom of speech, baby. Freedom of speech.
I was like, bro, I don't know if we're gonna fucking get this shit done, and it was a bumpy road, but man, the premiere party was sick. People came out and put together a little video. I was like, yo, we got to get this on video, and hired a videographer, and he did his thing. So it was fun, man.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Next event, I'm popping out for sure. Canceling dates. I'm in the building. But let's stop playing games, bro. Let's stop playing games. Why is Carmelo Anthony not on a team right now? My bro had the best defensive rating on the Lakers last year. He saved them in clutch moments. Yo, Shaq, you about to make me Shaq a fool you. You feel me? Like, come on, bro. Come on. How you feeling about that, number one, before we go deeper into this whole Melo combo? How are you feeling about that?
Not feeling good, man. Like, we're at a point right now where we're fucking, what, a week, 2 weeks into the season? Not even. I think like a week and a half into the season, and there's really no answer. Like, I wish I had one answer. I was like, yo, this is why. But at the end of the day, based on what I like gathered myself, based on like people I've spoken to and everything, it seems like Melo was really banking on the Knicks trading for Mitchell, because if the Knicks trade for Mitchell, Obi was going to be in that trade. I just spoke to Scoop B on my podcast last week, and he was telling us that Julius Randle was also going to be on his way out of New York. So the Knicks are going to have two open power forward spots at the 4. Obviously didn't go through. And then from there, teams' rosters has just been filled. Like, Melo seems like he was banking on that homecoming, that coming back to the Knicks and wearing that number 7 again. And then when it didn't happen, I don't want to sit here and say he didn't have a plan, but at that point, other teams had a plan. And then it was like hard for him to fit in anywhere. So at this point, man, it sucks. Like, it feels like we're right back to 3 years ago where people are like, oh shit, yeah, well, because his defense or because this or that. And it's just not true. It's his decision. But at the end of the day, I think he just relied on that Knicks situation working out. And when it didn't, other teams already had their 4s and already had their roster set. So
personally, it does suck that he's not in the league, but I see it as a good thing too, because his son, the more time he gets to spend with his son, has the same setup. It's like, really, like, bro, I'm watching Melo I get to relive this. Yeah. Oh my goodness. But I can say this, his handles and his speed is definitely way better than his father's. Like that.
And shooting, bro. He's a way better shooter than Melo was back then. When Melo was in Denver, like he was never a great shooter, especially from three. Well, he didn't suck at shooting, but like Kyan can shoot the hell out of the ball.
That's a fact, man.
Yeah.
But let's go back into time. Let's talk about the Melo Denver days. My first question to you is, do you feel the NBA really painted the narrative of LeBron's going to be the hero and Carmelo's going to be the villain?
Bro, 2000%. All you got to do is do a blind test of those stats from the rookie year. And there's no way in hell that someone could be like, yo, I don't know which one's Melo and I don't know which one's LeBron, and then picking LeBron and like, yo, that guy deserves rookie of the year. There's no chance. At the very, very, very least, co-rookie of the year. At the very least. And plus Melo played in a tougher conference and made the playoffs and averaged more points at a higher clip, averaged more rebounds. Like LeBron had him in assists, and that's pretty much it. So it's hard. And the reason that it's still brought up is exactly what you just said. Like, yo, from day one, it was like LeBron is the next GOAT. And, Melo was still in the streets and shit like that at that time. And Melo talked about last summer how David Stern had he knew all about
snitching. Why did he do it, bro? Exactly. Why did he do it?
Yo, he knew all about who Melo was with, where they were at. And he's like, yo, you got to stop this shit. Melo got suspended 15 games for that Knicks Nuggets brawl. So Melo early in his career wasn't the NBA's like ideal role model, and LeBron was. And I just think that difference between the two, and like LeBron was playing in his hometown in Cleveland, there were a lot of things to do with it. But Melo and LeBron were neck and neck for a long, long time. Situations had a lot to do with that, but it's hard to look at those stats and be like, nah, they weren't trying to set LeBron up to be the rookie of the year and the next GOAT.
Yeah, that is the truth, man. Like, just looking back on that time frame, it was like, bro, the way I grew up, everybody knew Carmelo Anthony was that guy. Like, like everybody's like, oh, I was a LeBron fan. I'm like, bro, you're lying, bro. Like, you're lying. I don't care what, bro. Until Melo left the Knicks, because all the way from Denver to Melo leaving the Knicks, nobody was really a LeBron fan. I don't care what nobody says. It was a selective, tiny group, a selective. But besides that, let's go even further back than that. Let's go back to the draft. Do you personally feel like, one, Melo's career would have been better off if drafted to the Pistons? Or two, we wouldn't have got the Melo that we love today had he went to the Pistons?
Fair questions. I think obviously he wouldn't have had the ball in his hands as much and the opportunity to score as much in Detroit versus Denver, for sure. And one of my hottest takes that I tell people, and I've tweeted that a few times, always gets a good reaction. And I don't even tweet it to get a reaction. It's genuinely what I believe, that if the Pistons draft Carmelo Anthony second overall back in 2003, then when it's all said and done, I think Carmelo is regarded as an all-time better player than LeBron. And people's reaction is to
piggyback on that, just because I feel the same way, but to piggyback on that, the crazy thing is I actually agree with, I think it was Chauncey Billups that had an interview. It really would have been
all the smoke
LeBron saga where, like, Steph already canceled some of that out. Melo on the Pistons, there would have never been a moment. There would have never been a moment, bro. Unless, all the old guys left out and then he had a stunt with Miami real quick, but nothing would have went down. That whole Miami thing probably wouldn't even happen.
Melo was the piece that Pistons team needed over those few years to become a dynasty. They were a great defensive team, and the one thing they were missing was a go-to scorer. And that we know Melo in his career, that's the one thing he does better than almost anyone ever. So if you put an all-time great scorer who can create his own shot, who developed into a hell of a shooter and who can do all the things he does offensively, and put that nucleus, like Billups said, like those guys would have taught him defense. And they won that first year. So you're telling me that Melo doesn't win his first year? The year after he wins in Syracuse and has one of the greatest freshman years, if not the greatest freshman year ever. And then they win another one and then maybe they win 3 in his first 5 years. Like that narrative right there, LeBron is out the window because they're beating LeBron on the way. And like, does the Miami thing happen? Who knows? Does Melo stay in Detroit for his whole career? Probably not. But if Melo coming off that Syracuse year goes to Detroit, wins, let's be conservative and say 2 out of 5, because you're not telling me there's no way that they don't at least win one more with Melo.
That's a fact.
Everything changes, and like, is Melo the guy we love today? I think he's a hell of a different player. Like, again, he might not be top 9 all time in scoring, but maybe he has 4 championships now, and maybe he's regarded as, not just a scorer, because maybe he learned defense and how to play more team ball early on. So yeah, man, I talk about this all the time, and like, the sad part about Melo's career is there's so many what if situations, and it sucks talking about it, where it's like, yo, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if that happened? But like, the chances that all of these things happen to Melo, all the way back to 03 with the Pistons versus him re-signing with the Nuggets to Phil coming in, like, he's just had such bad luck in his career situationally.
Definitely, man. And it's just mind-boggling because, like, bro, this is the NBA. This is one of your top guys. How do you allow this business to treat this man like this? And he's the reason why he's putting some or damn near majority of these people's in these seats. So it's like, what's going on here? Where is the bottom line respect to these players? So,
and I got one more for you. You know who else he put in the seats?
What's up?
His first home game, playoff game in Denver, LeBron was in attendance because his team didn't make the playoffs. So I think
let's talk about it. That is a fact. The first ever, like, real live out of, like, they not playing a game. The first ever game LeBron showed up to was a Melo game. That is a pure fact. So my last question for you, right, before, we get up out of it, because I know time is limited. So I got one more for you, man.
Go for it.
What is your, matter of fact, it's a 2-part question. What is your overall best version, in your opinion, of Melo? And how do you think Melo should have went about the whole coming to New York situation? Should he have rushed it? Should he waited the year? How you feel about those 2 things?
First question is easy. 2012, 2013 Melo. Not even close. Not even close. Scoring champ. He should have been MVP. I'm not pissed that LeBron won it, but you take LeBron off that Heat team, they're still very good. And you take Melo off that Knicks tape team, they're not very good. They had some good players. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yo, that team was filled with scrubs. They had some good players. JR, Novak, Champ. They had some good players. But if you take Melo off that team, they're a completely different team. So that, and again, like, that to me was just like the peak of his career. That was the last time he made the playoffs in New York, going back all those years after when Phil came the very next year. So that's easy for me. 2012, 2013 scoring champ Melo.
Bro, that Melo was something different. Like that. And then on top of that, a lot of people forget Miami ain't beat us at all that year. Every time
3-1 against them.
Matter of fact, yeah, they beat us once. But other than that, it was over after that. It was no more after that.
Bro, they don't want to see us in the next round. I remember I was in college. That was my first year of college that year, 2012, 2013. And I remember, like, Heat fans that I was friends with in high school being like, yo, they were like actively rooting for the Pacers because they didn't want to see Melo in the Knicks. JR was struggling like a motherfucker. Amari was in and out of the lineup. Like, the Knicks were still struggling, but they would have rather played that Pacers team versus Melo and the Knicks. Obviously, because of Melo, he could do so many things single-handedly, like we saw in 2011 versus the Celtics, even though they didn't win a game. But shout out to Jared Jeffries. So yeah, 2012, 2013. I just think, people always say, yo, Knicks Melo versus Nuggets Melo, both amazing. Like, obviously, both fucking amazing players. But 2013 Melo, 2012, 2013. I keep saying 2013 because that's technically the year he won the scoring title and all that. But
yeah,
he was still athletic. He got way smarter over the years in Denver. He was way more crafty. He was a way better shooter. So, like, when you combine all that, sure, he wasn't as athletic, like yamming on people like he was in Denver, but still, that was I think that was peak Melo for sure.
Definitely, man. Definitely. And then, you know, going into question number 2, like, did you think he kind of rushed his way to New York? Like, how do you feel he should have handled him actually coming over here?
This might be a hot take. I think he handled it fine. They were
Now
going.
that's the way. Whoa.
Wait,
you're the first person I've
ready?
ever heard say that. Please
Ready?
explain.
They were going into a new CBA. Nobody knew what the salaries were going to be like moving forward. Not to say that was his last chance to get a big contract, but he wanted to secure himself financially. Like, that was the whole point of him signing a deal before that summer. Obviously, there was a lockout to start the next year. He didn't force his way. He didn't say, yo, trade me to the Knicks right now. All he said was, yo, I'm only going to sign an extension with the Knicks. I'm not signing it with Denver. The Nuggets and the Nets actually agreed to a trade. And Melo was like, yo, I'm not going to sign an extension there. The Nuggets could have traded him to New Jersey back then for the rest of the season if they really wanted to, because they literally agreed on a deal. But the Nets only wanted to do it if Melo was going to sign an extension. So people talk about this all the time. Of course, Gallinari and Felton and Chandler and Mozgov, like, those were pieces who could have helped you win. And also you could have used those pieces for other trades to make that the Knicks teams in the years later after better. But also what I just mentioned, that Knicks tape season that we just made that whole doc on, they won 54 games. They won the Atlantic Division. They had the 6th man of the year. Tyson Chandler won Defensive Player of the Year before that. It's like they had pieces. It's not like they didn't have pieces. It was really what happened after that really fucked the Knicks, from Bargnani to not trading Shumpert for Kyle Lowry. And like we could go down the whole list, but that's when it fell apart. Like, the Knicks were still good the next year. Obviously, Linsanity, that was the Linsanity season. The Knicks tape season, they were top 2 seed in the East, and that was with trading Mozgov and Chandler and all those guys. So I completely hear what everyone says in terms of, yo, if he just signed in the summer, but like nobody knew what that situation was going to be like, if the payroll was going to go down 25% or whatever. Melo wanted to make his money, so that's my opinion on it. As a Melo and Knicks fan.
Nah, that's a fire take, bro. Because like I said, I've never really heard anybody state like, yo, him actually going was a good move. Like, wait, what? Like, I always get told, bro, he rushed it. He should have just waited. And, you know, you got the typical, he shouldn't even have came to the Knicks. He should have just went straight to the Bulls. But I was like, either way, man, we still got Melo. He still turned up. He still dropped 62. Nobody's still topping that right now. So we good. It's just like at this point, Melo got to get on the team, man.
Yeah, facts. And like, man, there's a lot of teams that, like, early in the season, the Nets are not looking good. There's a lot of teams that could use some 3-point shooting, especially the Lakers. And like, the thing now, it's kind of up to Melo. Like, I'm sure teams are going to be calling him in the next weeks, month, or however long. And it's really just up to him whether he wants to go all the way to like a Phoenix or a Milwaukee or LA or a team like that, because he's always been adamant about staying home with his son when his son got to high school, and he was going to do that last year. He was literally coming back to the Knicks, and then LeBron called him and was like, yo, we need you. We're doing this over here. That flopped more than I think anybody could have imagined. So I also think that's a huge, huge part of it. He wants to stay in New York with his son because he promised them. So it's kind of on him, man. It's kind of on him to see when teams call what he wants to do.
You know, or Leon Rose could just, you know, pack Evan out of here, and you know that extra spot we could just give it to Melo. I mean, we just give it to Melo. You know what I mean? Like, we could, if D Rose can play 12 minutes, we can get some type of minutes on the board for some Melo.
Down.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to go ahead and bring him back.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens as the trade deadline gets closer. And like, again, hoping it doesn't get to that, but we'll see.
Definitely, man. But Steve, I definitely appreciate you, bro. It was lit. Like I said, man, make sure y'all follow Control the Narrative on Twitter today. Tap in. Matter of fact, you go ahead and give the spill, bro. Talk your junk.
Again, man, first off, appreciate you giving me this opportunity. I know we've been trying to get this done for a little minute, so happy we finally did. Yeah, man, we host a podcast, Control the Narrative. It's supposed to be scheduled every week, but right now with no Melo news, we don't want to just keep hopping on the air and just talking about bullshit or like random ass things. So that's why we brought in Scoop B last week to give us some insight and things things like that. But yeah, man, control the narrative at CTRL Narrative on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. If you search our name, you'll probably find it. And I will definitely share this on our socials as well. So hope you get some viewers out of this shit too.
I hope y'all ready, folks. Yo, matter of fact, man, when y'all go ahead and follow, make sure y'all check out the reviews, the footage, everything from that documentary when they had it, the event. Super lit, tap in, VSN Network. Y'all know the vibes, man. Oh my goodness. And we got breaking news for y'all real quick before we head out of here. November 1st, relaunch of the good old Venture Season Network website, folks. Yes, the new relaunch is coming back better than ever. And I might even throw a little bit extra on there. I might just hit y'all with a little bit more. But y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the slogan. It's Trippy OG, Nick and 30, Fan to Fan Talk series. I'm out of here.